Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, mental health, emotional health, and coaching paradigm. We do that as often as we can, usually several times per week. And we do that for your listening pleasure. This is kind of a two-part series of what makes people fall in love with you. And so that can be a really useful thing. As mentioned, we've got almost 1,300 of these for your listening pleasure. Please feel free to reach out. If you're trying to make relationships mean more in 2022 and beyond, you can reach out at PO Perception on Twitter or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Either one will get you in touch with me or a member of my team, and we'll go from there. The first thing is quality time. Look, it's not how much time you spend, it's how attentive you are during the time that you spend. And so understanding the value of quality time is important. That means putting down your phone, putting down distractions, maybe, just completely showing body language that is accepting, showing body language that is open so that the other person feels like you are making them a priority. The next thing is active listening. Now, active listening is important. It's not just using your ears, but it's also being able to listen well enough to ask good follow-up questions. The building of rapport is required in order for any relationship to go well, but the building of rapport is also required for people to begin to feel like the other person understands them appropriately and effectively and in a meaningful way. And so when a person is struggling in that manner, when a person is struggling to find where they belong, the value of active listening is one of the most important things that any person can consider. Now, active listening doesn't mean that you're not, focused on building a rapport with the person. Much to the contrary, it means that you care more about rapport than getting your own words in or your own questions in. You care more about finding a way to connect with a person in a meaningful manner that ultimately allows them to connect with you in a better way, in a good way, in a way that makes sense for everyone involved. And so when a person is constantly struggling to be heard, even a little bit of active listening is going to build that bond to a greater degree. The next thing is interaction, the quality of interaction, and the consistency of interaction. People want consistency. They want to know that they can count on someone to follow through with what they say they're going to do. And when a person follows through, they also want to know that it's going to continue. People are looking for consistency more than ever before in history, in human nature. And that's because there's so many things that are constantly changing. There are so many things that are constantly going in a direction that doesn't necessarily bode well for where people are and what is happening. Now, what I mean by bode well for what's happening, what I'm meaning there is, you know, ultimately, if you don't know where your next paycheck is going to come from, or post-pandemic, if you don't know how you're going to cope with recovery, and the talk is the average person's finances is going to take 3 to 4 years to recover from the pandemic for most of America and probably most of the world. I would say even longer for less developed countries. But if you don't know what's coming, the search for consistency is real. It's vibrant. It's huge. And so, if a person believes that you can provide them consistency, they're going to be attracted to you at a whole another level, and they're going to fall in love with having you in their lives. And so, that's super valuable. The next is you avoid bragging, you avoid, being braggadocious or being ego driven, but at the same time, you're willing to share when the relationship is going well with others. So that may mean, hey, we had a really good time, and I wish you could have been there, or whatever the case may be. And so looking at that from a new perspective, kind of not so much bragging about what you've done, but the quality of your relationship in a subtle way, it can create security. And then the other thing is consistency of showing that you care. Consistency you're willing to sacrifice to show that you're willing to sacrifice your time, your energy, your thought, your feelings, your emotions towards something that is of value to another person that matters to you. When you begin to understand how to do that in a way that makes sense for everyone involved, that is where the relationship itself will ultimately become magnified and expanded in a positive direction. So hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.